And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. For today's podcast episode, I have my good friend Charlie with me. Say hello to everybody.
Hello.
And today we are doing our spoiler review on the 2021 film Infinite. This movie was originally supposed to star Chris Evans. He dropped out of the listing and everything, and then they went on ahead and got Mark Walhberg to play the lead role in this film. This film, I have to say, is very entertaining. I had a lot of fun watching this film. Uh, is there any plot holes? Yeah, there's plot holes, but the premise and everything is really great. I really loved how Mark Wahlberg plays Evan McCauley, who possesses skills he has never learned and memories of places he has never visited, which haunt his daily life. Self-medicated and on a brink of a mental breakdown, Evan is sought by a secret group that calls themselves Infinites, revealing to him that his memories may be real, but they form multiple past lives. The Infinite brings Evan into their extraordinary world where a gifted few are given the ability to be reborn, and their memories and knowledge accumulated over centuries. With critical secrets buried in their past, Evan must work with the Infinite to unlock the answers in his memories in a race against time to save humanity from one of their own, Chiwetel Ejiofor, who seeks to end all life to stop what he views, and he is the cursed endless cycle of reincarnation. So, with that being said, I want to say this: when we review the trailer, I do have to admit this does feel like a little bit of Assassin's Creed kind of vibe that I got from it. I mentioned that inside the trailer as well. Then, of course, it also has a little bit of Highlander, a little bit as well. But I love the idea of reincarnation, and also too, I like the idea of this whole entire idea where basically if you die, you become reincarnated and you become someone else, but then you also still have your memories intact on what happened. So I like that, but then you're also dealing with Mark Wahlberg, who has been diagnosed as schizophrenic and everything too, which I really liked on that aspect. And the only way to actually calm him down is actually to take the pills. So, what do you think of the introduction into this world and everything?
It's a very cool concept. I like that. I like that he was diagnosed with schizophrenia at 14, but he's not really schizophrenic. It's because he's lived multiple identities or multiple lives, which are being reincarnated. I think it was a cool idea. I mean, right off the bat, you're start off with an action sequence, and that's that's a great way. And I got to give props. Dylan O'Brien, albeit a minor character, he was awesome in this. Like that car chase was great. I mean, Antoine Fuqua is no stranger to action sequences, car chases, whatever. He knows how to do it. And this movie had some great action in the opening sequence of Dylan driving that car. That was great. Like a great start for this movie. And like I said, the action was great and like the opening was like entertaining. So you're hooked in already. Like I was. I mean, at least the big fan is like you said, it was entertaining. That's the whole point of a movie like this. I will go into later, and critics may want to turn it off because you're about to get scorched.
But with that being said, though, too, I also liked the opening sequence as well. I thought the open sequence was really well done, and I have to say, it reminded me of a John Wick kind of feel to it with the opening sequence, where you basically in part two, where you have that high speed chase that's going on, and then of course you wind up seeing the slow motion thing actually worked for me this go around when it came down to this high speed chase and everything. It slowed down, but then it speed right back up again. It actually gives you that sci-fi kind of feel to it. And everything too, into this introduction into this character. So that's something that I really liked about it. And then also too, it makes you care about this character that we're being introduced to, which is because here's the thing: when we're introduced to new characters, it's actually hard to get invested into new characters right away. Yeah. But the way they do this with this car chase makes us become invested. It makes us care about the character, the motivation behind the plot, and everything else with this character. And I really like the motivation behind it. And it has that Fast and the Furious kind of vibe, though, too, if you think about it, because of the fact that, you know, there's this high-speed chase that's going on. There's helicopter up above him and everything, following him along. He shoots the helicopter light out. Then he speeds off where there's this bridge, and then his friends are behind him. There's no way you're going to make that jump. There's no way you're going to make it. I forgot how much of the depth that it was actually supposed to be, but there was no way that they can actually make it. So he speeds off the thing. Of course, he's not going to make it to the other side in the car, so he jumps off the car, out of the car, and jumps onto the other side of the bridge. And of course, he has this thing called the egg, and we're going to get into that a little later. But I liked how at first you're seeing him pretty much just trying to heal himself up from getting cut open. It looked like somebody cut him at first. You don't actually see everything. But I like how he takes the cigarette lighter from the Ferrari, and he goes on ahead and tries to heal that wound back up. But it's just such a badass type of style that I've been missing since action movies and everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said, it was a great opening. And then like I said, like I said, Dylan O'Brien. I mentioned on my Facebook review. He played in an action movie based off a book character called Mitch Rapp in the American Assassin series. American Assassin, he was awesome in that movie. Like Dylan O'Brien was a badass in that movie. So if you're looking to get your Dylan O'Brien, but not him, like not a happy movie, it's not a happy movie. He's an assassin, but he's a badass at it. So if you want a good action role with him in it longer, check out American Assassin.
I heard good things about that movie. I haven't checked that out yet, but I'm planning on doing that.
I watched it in theaters. It was entertaining. Michael Keaton was perfect for that character. It's based off a book series, but yeah, it's an entertaining action movie, and it's got the Taylor Kitsch is in it. He's a good villain.
Okay, so we have that one scene and everything, and also too, Mark Wahlberg wakes up from the dream. Excellent. Well, at first he's thinking that it's just another dream that he has. It's just an everyday life. He also mentions the fact that he has to pay his bills. Just everyday life, just getting him down pretty much. And then also too, it goes into his background story about his anger and everything, dealing with schizophrenia. And he's telling the guys, hey, look, it's okay. I can take medication for my mental health and everything. I'm totally fine. Hire me. I promise you that I won't let you down. And they're like, well, thank you. Well, here's the thing. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate your time. And then that's when Mark Wahlberg says, well, I know you're not going to call me. I know that I'm not going to expect your call. And the guy's just thrown off by it. The supervisor, who's supposed to be his employer, is just thrown off by it. He goes, what do you mean that I'm not going to reach out to you? Because I can tell just by the way you're looking at me and everything, I'm not going to get called. So you have that aspect of it. And then, of course, that's when he's making this samurai sword.
Oh, yeah. The Hattori.
And that thing looked fucking awesome. I'm going to just say that.
It was a Hattori, like a Hanzo sword. It was like a very Japanese style sword. I think Hattori Hanzo. I can't pronounce the name. It was the type of sword that the bride had in Kill Bill. But yeah, that was an awesome sword. And he even got to use it.
Right. I was hoping that he would actually get a chance to use the sword.
Yeah.
And everything. But then you wind up seeing this one guy who has Mark Wahlberg's medication, and he's doing all this samurai stuff, wanting to chop off his girlfriend's arm with the sword and stuff that. And then of course Mark Wahlberg's character is like, Evan. He winds up saying, "Hey, look, that's not a toy, man. You don't need to be going on ahead chopping off people's arms or anything." And then I like how the other guy's like, "Well, what's in gunpowder?" Just trying to quiz him on Wikipedia.
He's smart. His character's smart. And then like he's like, and everybody's making fun of him. And I'm like, he's gonna kick your ass.
Yeah, and then he's like, well, he goes, how do you know that? He goes, I don't know. Give me my pills. That's all he cares about is his pills, because he knows if he doesn't take those pills, it's not gonna be it's not gonna end well. Yeah.
But yeah, like it's not gonna end well, and it doesn't end well for those guys because he ends up cutting off some guy's finger, like this one guy's finger, and then he has this he gets out of there, and then cops show up, and I'm like, okay, and then they have the famous interrogation, the interrogation sequence we saw in the trailer, which I thought was kind of funny. It's this Mark Walhberg like, hey man, come on,
just comedic Mark Wahlberg moment, you know.
Yeah.
But I also liked another thing too. I like the hallucination scene that we got whenever he's going over the wall to escape from the cops.
Yeah.
And it says like Japanese kind of style of that whole entire hallucination.
Yeah.
Shot of the snow coming in. I really love that shot. That shot was just a beautiful shot, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was like there were some very good visuals in that movie, and like that was shot well, and I can appreciate that for that. I mean, but yeah, I thought like that pretty cool thing about how it's really how he thinks he's falling back, but he really falls into a car. I mean, I thought that was visually, I thought that was really cool.
Same here as well. I thought that was visually shot well because he's thinking that he's falling into a waterfall, but really he's actually falling onto a car.
Yeah,
because of the hallucination. And then next thing you know, he gets arrested. Then the interrogation scene winds up happening. And like you said, it's just a classic Mark Wahlberg moment because it because of this other Chiwetel Ejiofor's character. Yeah. Basically, let me give you a little bit of background about his character. His character just wants to die. He wants to end reincarnation as a whole. He doesn't want to come back as anything else. He wants all reincarnation to be done and just wants to die. And so that's his job. That's pretty much Chiwetel's goal in this movie is to kill Mark Wahlberg, get the egg. Well, first find out where the egg is that Mark Wahlberg hid, and then go on ahead and kill Mark Wahlberg. But that's his ultimate goal. But the interrogation scene was really good. He goes, so you mean to tell me you don't have a clue at how you made this sword? He's like, no, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. And everything. Yeah. He has no clue, but he acts like he knew how to do that for a very long time. And I like how in the monologue that we got from Mark Wahlberg, he said, do you ever have the feeling that you've done something, but you don't realize that you know how to do it until you actually do it, and it feels like you've been doing it all the time?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I thought it was a good monologue. Like, I mean, you start out like him talking about the story, and then it goes right into that. So I thought it was really good. I mean, like I said, when Mark Wahlberg has action movies, he's really good at it, and that's what I like about him. I like his action movies, and it's like he hasn't done one of these since Mile 22, and that came out in 2018. And the action in that was great. Everything else, like I said, I mean, the build up for it was good. It was good. Just the payoff was bad, but it had some really good action sequences in it, and that was with him and Peter Berg. And I don't consider Spencer Confidential an action movie. It had elements in it. It was more of a comedy. But yeah, but it's nice seeing Mark Wahlberg back in this type of action movie because he's good at it, to be honest.
He's definitely good at it. That's one of the things I like about Mark Wahlberg. You can pretty much put him into almost any role, and he'll probably knock it out of the park. Yeah, just given the right script. With this and everything, I really like how they go into the background of the Infinites and the difference between the Infinite and Chiwetel's characters. Mm-hmm. I forgot what they're called. Nihilist. I like how they go into the background of both of those. And then, of course, Mark Wahlberg also has a steel plate in the back of his head. And he also went through electric shock therapy, though, too, whenever he went through psychiatric places, though, too. So that's another thing. And what the Infinites do is they try to do anything that they can to try and trigger something to where he can remember certain events in his life that he might have forgotten because of the steel plate. Yeah. And every single time they get closer, it seems like something is blocking that one image of what happened to the egg. And I like how they put him into this machine. And I wish that they would have used this type of machine for the Assassin's Creed movie because I feel like that would have worked out better. It actually feels more like the Assassin's Creed machine that we should have gotten from the very first Assassin's Creed movie. Yeah. But I appreciated what they did. They went into it. They went into his memory. You could see the different versions of Evan and everything with the samurai, with everything else. I really love that aspect. And it also has, like I said, it has that Highlander kind of feel to it.
Yeah. And then the interrogation scene was pretty cool about like how Chiwetel was being, oh, I know everything about you. This will come to play later on. But and then all of a sudden, the one of the other believers, that's the played by Sophie Cookson. She was in the two Kingsman movies. I didn't feel like they did her character justice in those movies because she was a badass character. This is where you get to see her shine, and she was great in this. Like the action sequences she was a part of, she was badass. Like I'm just gonna say that she was badass in her sequence. Like she was like not one to be messed with. So it was really nice to see her in a type of an action movie role, to be honest.
Same. It was definitely good to see her in something like that. And then also too, I like how she just plows through the interrogation room with the Hummer.
Yeah.
And then as she's going through that, she gets Mark Wahlberg and Evan to go into the Humvee, and they're just going through the police station, riding in the police station and everything. Yeah. And then of course you have Chiwetel's character. He winds up following them on a high-speed chase out of the interrogation area.
That was a cool, another well-shot sequence. A very cool car chase.
And I also like the retractable steering wheel too that they actually have in it too.
Oh yeah.
And I like how Mark Wahlberg, Evan, he turns around and he goes, "Oh, retractable steering wheel. How original."
Yeah.
Because the way it looks, the way the retractable steering wheel actually looks, it kind of goes inside the glove compartment and comes out of the glove compartment. So I thought that was actually pretty cool. All of a sudden it turns into like a car from England, like a Mini Cooper or something.
Yeah.
So I definitely love that aspect to it. I thought that was an original idea that I haven't seen before.
Yeah. I mean, they were trying for this movie. It's not like let's just got this movie. Let's just put it out there. Like, I mean, it wasn't that. I think they were. This was supposed to be in theaters, but with the pandemic, and they released it in Paramount Plus, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's a bad idea." Like, "Oh, let's just they gave up on it." I'm like, you're saying that now, but 45 days after Quiet Place 2 comes out, what's the first place that's going to go to? Oh yeah, that's right, Paramount Plus. So everybody's shitting on it now, and he's like, "Oh crap! Like, we screwed up." I'm like, "Yeah, you did." So I would enough with the making fun of it and realize it's like, hey, this is not going anywhere. So I mean, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, for what it was, it did what it needed to do. It entertained, and like that car chase was awesome. It was a really cool, well shot sequence, and that gun that Chiwetel's character had to get rid of the memories. I thought that was a vicious gun.
Yeah, and basically what one of the characters says, if you see a guy with this, run. Mm-hmm. You might as well just go in and kill yourself the normal way so you can be reincarnated again.
So the gun is like an agent from the Matrix in a sense. Like if you see this gun run, if you see an agent run until it's time to do what you need to. And
I also like how the training is, the Kung Fu training.
Yeah,
also triggers cool. Yeah, because the Kung Fu thing actually triggers a certain memory though too. So they're actually trying to trigger this memory, but nothing's coming in. Even whenever they put them on the table, they almost wind up losing Evan right away. Yeah,
from Jason Mantzoukas, Mazonkis. He's the artisan. I think that's what they called him. Because nothing's coming out, and then you're seeing and then you see the facility was a really cool facility. And they kept the body for Dylan O'Brien's character, which we'll get into in a bit. But it was a really cool facility. But again, I think a lot of stuff seemed rushed because this is an hour and 46 minutes. But and then like I said, I think it could have been a little bit longer. Maybe to expand on some more stuff. I think that's the only minor flaw I had with it was that. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what the plot is because I wasn't looking at this for plot. I was looking at Antoine Fuqua, Mark Walhberg action movie. That's all I was looking for this. You're going in thinking plot. That's on you. I mean, of course you're going to crap on it if you're expecting a plot from this. But yeah, I mean, for what it did, like I said, I thought they did what they could, and told told the story the best way they could in an hour and 46 minutes. Because if you do too long, then it kind of draws it out, and that's not good.
That's true. I actually felt like the timing of this one was perfect, though. An hour and 46 minutes is plenty of time to tell the story that you want to tell with this universe.
Yeah.
There could have been a little few things that they could have actually expanded on and stuff, but what I mean by that is maybe go into a little bit more of the origin story of each sector that they had to go to, and explaining the Doctor a little bit better.
Yeah.
But that's just little small nitpicky things, but overall very entertaining. And then you know, another thing though too, I liked how they have the casino and everything where Chiwetel's character is at, and then you also have the Doctor where the Doctor is in the casino at the same time. So you actually have a casino within a doctor, pretty much in a Doctor's place, if you think about it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you know, everybody's like, "Oh, so this guy gambles," and they're like, "Yeah, he pretty much just goes on ahead and gambles the blackjack tables a little bit here and there and stuff like that." So they know the risk going into this, but they knew that they had to go on ahead and figure out a way to reboot Evan's memory.
Yeah.
So they wind up meeting up with the Doctor and everything, and then of course the Doctor winds up telling them, "Well, look, I don't recommend this, but it looks like we have no choice to do this.
Yeah.
We have to drown him."
Yeah.
And I love the analogy behind it, where it's like, where he says, "You know how life flashes before your eyes?"
Yeah.
And so we're going to have to drown you until that memory comes in to full perspective. And so Mark Walhberg goes, "I'm out."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Look, there's no other way around it. You're going to have to do this." And so basically Mark Walhberg goes into this kind of like, I want to call it like Wolverine kind of style machine that will make you that will drown you.
Yeah. It's also kind of like the Captain America device a little bit too from the first Avenger. Yeah.
That's true too. But and then of course it winds up drowning him, and then we finally get to see the memory of everything that happened within that dream sequence that we had with Mark Walhberg. And then after that winds up happening, it makes it look like Mark Walhberg actually drowned.
Yeah.
But instead, he winds up reviving. Well, they revive him and everything, and he goes, "I know where the egg is hidden," and it happens to be inside the other version of him in his dead body and his lifeless body.
And along the way, Chiwetel's character has the whole place scoped out. Like there's cameras everywhere, so he knows instantly now that they say, "Hey, the egg's inside Dylan O'Brien's character." Well, they know where the egg is now, and that's why they're already there, and then they think like, "Okay, we're gonna invade the place."
Now, what did you think of the action sequence with that?
I thought those guards were like Chiwetel's bodyguards were just wusses. I mean, they instantly get killed by one gadget. One gadget kills every single one of them, and then when the big brute throws a knife, he uses him as a human shield. I'm like, okay. You think? I guess they're expendable. I guess I don't know.
But also, too, it just shows you how ruthless his character actually is, where he'll stop at nothing to get this egg, even sacrificing his own people.
Pretty much, yeah.
But at the same time, okay, I know we had some nitpicky things on this other movie that we watched with Amazon.
Without Remorse.
Yeah. Now, we did see a couple of people get shot in the bed and everything. What did you think of those sequences?
It's probably shot well better. It was probably done well better and shot well better than Without Remorse. Come to think of it, the more I think of it, the more I kind of hate the movie now because it was not well shot. I mean, the thing in the bed, this one was shot better because you actually see the people lying in the bed, not covers or covering the person. Let's just shoot the covers. Like I thought this one did it a little bit better, and it happened quick. So, and they weren't just standing there for 5 minutes.
Right. I felt like that was actually more believable with this one than I did with Without Remorse. And then, of course, what do you think of the whole aspect of when they're shooting the person and then that person's flying out of the bed? There's actually,
I don't think I picked up on that part.
yeah, there's actually, if you go back and watch it, there's actually one person when they're shooting him. He's supposed to be sleeping, right? And he's actually hops. It's pretty much like he flies out of bed.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So, but other than that, though, I thought they stuck it really good. To be honest with you, I thought the action sequence with that whole entire sequence was really good. Yeah. And then, so then we actually get into the whole thing where Evan is actually injured.
Oh yeah, he got shot.
Yeah, he winds up getting shot, which also causes him not to be able to go with the female character.
Sophie Cookson's character. Let me look that up real quick.
Right. But yeah, he isn't able to go with her because of the fact that he's injured, and she doesn't want him risking his life, huh?
It was Nora.
Yeah. Nora doesn't want Evan to go with her or anything like that because of the fact that she doesn't want him to die and bleed out because he's already losing large amounts of blood. And of course, the doctor is also making him do blood transplants and stuff like that to get some blood in him.
Yeah.
But then, of course, she winds up doing the mission on her own without him. And I like the sniper rifle sequence where you actually see her, and then you see all these souls that's actually in Ejiofor's office.
Yeah, that drone thing was pretty. I mean, him controlling the drone, that was pretty badass.
Like you said, they did some original work with this. They thought some stuff out that was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And then of course Evan wakes up from his coma.
Yeah.
And I love the doctor. The doctor is probably one of my favorite characters on there.
Yeah, he was funny. He's the comic relief.
I loved how he was playing that Jimi Hendrix song.
Yeah.
And he was just playing guitar just really smooth. And then all of a sudden Evan wakes up and goes, he's like, where's Nora? Oh, she went on it. And I like how he's just calm about it, like nonchalant about it. Oh, she went on ahead and went after Chiwetel's character. And
he was like, what? All right, I gotta go after.
He goes, whoa, man, whoa. You already lost a large amount of blood, blood and everything. Just stay here. It'll be all right. But of course, they wind up going over there and everything to try and help Nora. There's that little scene where basically she winds up getting injured because of one of the drones and stuff like that. And then also too, I love the action sequence.
Oh yeah, that final action sequence. That was a good one. That was entertaining.
That was. I also liked how she managed to roundhouse like our Superman kick one of the other security guards and stuff like that too. I thought that was really good.
I mean, they definitely shined her with some good action sequences on that. That was a really cool, like, to show her skills. Like, she was a badass in that sequence.
Most definitely. And then after that winds up happening, she becomes injured because of the drone. Then of course Mark Walhberg comes in and picks her up. Yeah. And then takes her back over to where the mansion is and everything.
Yeah. And then, I mean, yeah, Mark Walhberg was awesome in that. And then Matakis was in the chopper killing people like crazy. I'm like, wow, that's, I mean, he was pretty good in that. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, like I said, that was a good action sequence. And then when the two of them got out of the car, they start Mark Walhberg and her start kicking some serious ass, like to get to the house. And that was a great portion right there.
Right, and then there's that one part where you see the drones, and then not the drones, but you see all these other guards coming towards her, and she's already injured. I'm like, oh shit, there's no way she can take down all these guards. No. And all of a sudden, the helicopter comes out of nowhere. It shoots all the guards up.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So I thought that was actually pretty good.
And after she took out the main female henchman, her injured, she took her out so easy.
She did. And at first she was using her weakness, which is that thing that was, I forgot what was,
I think it was metal.
Yeah, some type of metal shavings from the drone or something. But
Yeah.
the villain was actually trying to use that against Nora. Nora takes it out and then stabs her with it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that's when they go on ahead and take down. She takes down the mansion.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
freeing all the souls that were going to be reincarnated.
Yeah.
And then after that, Evan's up in the airplane and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Chiwetel tries shooting him in the back of the head.
Oh yeah. Well, the stunt before it was really cool. Mark Wahlberg with the motorcycle, being able to land the motorcycle onto the wing of the plane. That was awesome.
And it has that 90s kind of flavor to it, where you have a dirt bike. It kind of reminds you of Mission Impossible 2 in a sense.
Yeah.
With the motorcycle jumping off of a cliff, and then, of course, the action star goes ahead and jumps on the airplane wing and then tries to save the woman in distress or trying to destroy the bomb that's about to go off. And it actually works in its favor for this.
Yeah, it did.
And of course, Ejiofor goes in where the cargo bay is and tries to stop him from getting the egg.
Yeah.
Out because you could see that Evan wants to try and get this egg out, but he doesn't know how. Yeah. And then Ejiofor goes on ahead, shoots him in the back of the head. And I like how Evan is just over there just playing dead because he has a metal plate in his head.
Yeah.
And then Evan wakes up. He goes, "Oh, I thought you knew everything about me."
Oh, yeah. Like, I knew that was going to come into play. Like, as soon as he got shot in the back of the head, and everybody's everybody's freaking. I'm like, come on. Early on, he talked about the metal plate. So I knew he was going to get up because he was going to have and that was a pretty well choreographed fight sequence. Was pretty cool. Sure. I mean, there was a lot of shaky cam, but I mean,
to be honest with you, I didn't even notice the shaky cam. To be honest,
I think usually, Oh, sorry. It was when they were jumping out of the plane. It was after that portion. That's when it was kind of a little bit shaky. But or a fast, it was kind of like Michael Bay style, but
still, I was able to see everything, which makes me appreciate it even more because usually I'll see a shaky cam or a quick slide of the film, and everything, and that's it. But with this, I could actually see everything in its entirety, which is very rare when you come down to action sequences. Here's the thing. We'll go. You know what, Brandy? We'll go in and check this. I'll let you watch it this weekend and everything, or if the tropical depression doesn't affect our plans. But yeah, very enjoyable as far as the action sequences go and everything. I thought it was very good. Yeah.
And then the movie ends. So Mark Wahlberg ends in the water. So I think he's reincarnated again.
Yep.
And Nora's reincarnated another person. I like the end, when you see him as the Japanese or the Korean or Chinese kid or whatever, and Artisan shows up and hands him the sword, and you see the backhanded thing with the sword. It's like, Artisan, what took so long? I thought that was a pretty cool nod. I mean, I thought it was entertaining. Like I said, I mean, I don't this part of the portion, go ahead, John, and then I'm gonna go go critic bashing.
But yeah, I thought that was really good. It felt like that movie with Robin Williams, where he winds up dying and he goes into different realms of hell and things like that, and he becomes reincarnated with something else.
I'm not familiar with that one.
What Dreams May Come is what I'm thinking of. So you actually do see a little bit of closure with Nora and Evan and everything too, because then they fall in love and they're together, and that's how it goes up. Now, as far as the critics go and everything else, I went into it with the plot because that's what I loved was the premise of it, and I was entertained by the premise of it. And I'm not going to give it I'm not going to do no credit bashing or as far as the scoring goes or anything like that. My score will be my own score, and your score will be your own score as well.
Yeah,
but I had fun with it. I mean, it deserves a 3.5 out of 5, but for everything I listed, but it was entertaining.
Yeah, I gave it an 8. I was entertained by it. That's the whole point. Is this movie the best movie that's out? Best movie of the year? No, It's not supposed to be. Is it a lot better than a lot of stuff that came out this year? Absolutely, this is. Do I think it deserves a 0.5 out of 5? No. And to give you that review without any reasons, like you just say negative reasons, but you don't have anything positive of it, then like you're going in looking to bash this movie. Like, I'm gonna tell everybody, don't listen to the critics. Just check this movie out for yourself. Just just judge the movie yourself. If you don't want to watch it, that's fine. Don't let anybody else influence you, critics, anything like that. If you thought the movie looked cool, check it out. But don't go bashing it giving the movie a bad review when you were going out to hate it anyway. This is not an Oscar movie. We're not an Oscar movie season. Like if you want to watch it, watch it. Like, don't let anybody with these bad reviews that probably haven't seen it. They're just doing it just that. And don't trust RogerEbert.com, because Roger Ebert's quality has dropped significantly. Like, for a while now, it's dropped. Like, don't trust them. I'll just put it at that.
All right. I'm also gonna say this: judge this movie on your own merit and your own judgments and everything. If you like this movie, like Charlie said, check it out. Let us know also too in the comment sections if you actually like this movie, if you saw this movie. This movie does not deserve a 0.5. And even if there's aspects that you liked and aspects you didn't like, I'm sure that you can actually find something that you can actually rank it up higher than a 0.5 for crying out loud. But anyways, is there anything else that you want to talk about as far as this movie goes?
No, I think I mentioned it. It was great action sequences. It was I thought some of the stuff was well shot. I mean, it was an entertaining movie. That's the whole point about this. It's supposed to be entertaining. That's what it was. If you're going and looking for plot, go somewhere else.
Okay. So with that being said, guys, go on ahead, like and share this video. Let everybody know about Movie Lovers Unite. Another thing too, guys, is if you guys want to donate to the show, how do you do that? Just go to www.movieloversunite.com/Movie Lovers Podcast. Another thing too is go on ahead, follow us at Movie Lovers and TV Lovers Unite on Facebook, underneath the same name on Pinterest and on Instagram. Go on ahead, reach out to me at movieloversunite@gmail.com if you're a sponsor or if you're interested in being on the show or if you're interested in me being on your show. Go on ahead, reach out to me that way. Another thing too, go on ahead, like I mentioned, check out our audio-only podcast where you guys get your podcast from. We're back on Apple now, which is something I'm very excited to announce. So go in there, check it out. Let us know what you think. Also, too, give me a follow on Twitter at Movie Lovers Unit and also on Stereo as well. We do some shows over there at Movie Lovers Unit as well. And those are all the places that you can reach me at. Always until next time, it's been real. It's been fun. I can't wait to do this again. And bye-bye.